It's 3 for Thursday. Now, every day I always carry 3 knives on me. One is this Leatherman Multitool. This is a P2. This is carried on my belt. This is one that I modified. So it now takes a flat bit. And this, I even modified this flat bit. This used to be a long one. They were about this long from the factory. I cut it off and reground the flat side of it. And I did it as a hollow grind. The reason for a hollow grind is the sides taper in and then straighten out. So the bit is straight where it goes into the head of the screw. You don't have a taper. Like most of them are ground on the wedge to a point. So that taper causes the bit to twist out of the screw, to cam out. And I made this as long as possible to fit inside the tool and go down pretty close to being flush. I also put a straight blade on this knife instead of the serrated one that it comes with. Now I have another one of these where I reground the blade to be a straight blade to remove the serrations. I'll have to show that in another video. On the other side, I still have the stock tools. And this has been an absolutely ideal multi-tool to carry. This has been the best one I have ever used. These scissors are great. You know, this tool selection is what I need every day. It's very easy to carry some flat Leatherman bits. They don't take up much room in the pocket if you need some. I normally leave the bits in my backpack. And I just get them out if I know that the jobs I have for the day will require them. I don't use the pocket clip. It's there just out of convenience. If I pull this thing out of the belt case, you know, one-handed, that's one thing about this, is every tool on it is accessible one-handed. I usually put it against my leg to close it. So everything, all the tools, you know, the knife right now, probably have to oil that. That's a little stiff. You know, screwdrivers, even the tools on this side. You can bring them, you can fan them out, pick the one you want, put the rest away. So, but the clip is nice sometimes. I've used that when I was up on the ladder and I pull this thing out of my pocket. Sometimes it's easier to just drop this in the pocket or clip this on the pocket with the belt clip instead of actually putting it away. Second, I always like to carry a traditional knife in the slip. This is one I've been testing out lately. This is a Boker. I'm not sure actually what you would call this. This is somewhere in between the size of a medium Stockman and a regular full-size Stockman. This one just says high carbon stainless steel, so I don't know exactly what this is. But this has been a good knife to carry. It does have one big problem though. It does have a very nice sheep's foot blade for utility. Small spade blade, or kind of like a pen blade. Actually, it kind of looks like a Benchmade 940 with the reverse tanto. The tip looks the same way. So I'll use this as a dirty blade. And then the main blade, which the problem with this knife is this nail nick is no good. It's rounded off. You can't grab that. There it is. You can't grab that with your thumb to deploy the blade. So what I'm going to do is take a Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel and go in here and clean this up and square off the shoulder here so that this blade will be usable. So this has been a nice companion knife, and that's how I look at it. It's a companion knife. This blade I know can always stay clean and I can use for food, and then I have the other blades for utility. Then lastly, I have the main knife that I'm carrying, and right now, as I showed last week on the 2 for Tuesday, this is a Vosteed Nightshade. This one is a Nitro V. This is the standard model. I carried and tested the sprint run that was an LMAX, you know, with copper bolsters. You can go back and look on my 2 for Tuesdays and you can find a review of that knife. So I want to see how this Nitro V holds up, if this is anywhere near as good as the LMAX. I've only been carrying this for about a week so far. So far it's been pretty good. I touched the original edge up. It's still nice and sticky. And let's see if it'll still cut paper after a week of light use. Still cuts fine. But I haven't yet put this knife to the test. I've just done normal everyday cutting things, just little things here and there. I haven't gotten into doing anything heavy with it, but that's coming up in the next week or so. I'll be doing some heavy cutting with this, and then I'll let you know a little bit more about the edge retention. Now, I have already done a couple things where I've put some pressure on this tip. I was a little bit worried about this tip because it's pretty fine. I know Nitro V is a fairly tough steel. You know, it's in the same family as AEBL and 14C28N, so those are both really tough steels, and this falls into that same category. And the tip held up just fine. And what's kind of concerning to me about how thin that tip is when I go to put my own edge on it, I'm going to do probably about 15 degrees per side like I did with the LMAX one. And that'll thin the very tip out even more. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the steel holds up against, you know, fairly heavy use, not hard use, not abuse, but heavy use. We'll see if that holds up, being a little bit thinner. We'll see the strength of the steel. We'll see the edge stability. But so far, I'm enjoying this. It's nice and smooth. For me, they're just a little bit small. I mean, I love the knife. I can't get the Nightshades out of my pocket. I just wish they were about a ½ inch bigger. Then it would be a perfect knife. That's it for this 3 for Thursday. I'll make a maintenance Monday out of this Boker. And in the not too distant future, I'll give you an update on the Nightshade in Nitro V. We'll see you next time.